I can't do it. We'll do it live.
Okay.
Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Good morning.
It's time to wake up.
This is Snowman in the Morning, and it begins now.
Oh, somebody got his head knocked off!
Down!
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch! Are you kidding me?
Yeah, are you kidding me? Y'all ready to have some fun? I'm ready to have some fun, too. Good morning. Wait a minute. Okay, that works. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Snowman in the Morning on this Wednesday, December 21st. It's 4 days before Christmas. Have you been a good boy or girl? Is Santa going to bring you what you want? I certainly hope he does for me, and I hope this Christmas season is everything that you guys want it to be. Snowman in the Morning brought to you in part by Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough. And the first hour is brought to you in part by Countryside Realty, where professionalism matters. Also, we are brought to you by Tri-State Motors of Gary, Indiana. Give them a look at 401 West Ridge Road. If you're looking for a car but if you're looking for a car but don't have good credit, I read this wrong again because I just wrote it. If you're looking for a car but you don't have the greatest credit, Tri-State Motors is the way to go. Give them a call at 219-980-2277. Also, check us out on our new website, snowmaninthemorning.com. The new version of it, the old one got hacked, so we've had to rebuild it. We're still in the process of rebuilding it. You'll find links to our new YouTube page for Snowman in the Morning, our new YouTube page for Arena Sports Net, our flagship network. And there's going to be some other networks that's going to pick this show up. I guarantee it. I really guarantee it. The first part of the show is brought to you in part by our ButcherBox, and it presents our ButcherBox scoreboard, where we take you around the different leagues to see what happened last night. And we begin with NCAA football. The Boca Bowl saw Western Kentucky hang 51 points and defeat Memphis by a final of 51-41. Now let's go to the men's college basketball scoreboard. It was in top 25 action. It was number 9 Creighton over Arizona State, 96-85. Radford loses to number 11 West Virginia, 84-57. Eastern Washington loses to number 17 Xavier, 85-56. It was number 18 Arizona over New Mexico, 77-46. St. Mary's over Texas A&M Corpus Christi, 67-46. And number 20 Oregon over Fresno State. That final was 75-63. Now, in the association, we call it the NBA last night. New Orleans over Philadelphia, 108-93. Charlotte 4 better than the Lakers, 117-113. It was the Toronto Raptors over the Brooklyn Nets, 116-104. And I'm going to talk a little more NBA about some stuff that I don't like later on in the show. Knicks over the Pacers, 118-111. Orlando outscores Miami in 2 overtimes, 136-130. LeBron and the world champion Cavaliers defeat the Milwaukee Bucks 114-108 as LeBron James passes Moses Malone for 8th in career points. Back to the Orlando game, again, that final 136-130. The teams have battled through 10 ties and 27 lead changes. Another overtime game. Isaiah Thomas, the hero for the Boston Celtics, he leads a rally from 17 down, finishes with 44 as the Boston Celtics defeat the Memphis Grizzlies at final 112-109. The San Antonio Spurs keep on the heels of the Western Conference champion Golden State Warriors as they take care of business against the Houston Rockets 102-100. The Los Angeles Clippers 21-8 trying to get back on track. They beat Denver 119-102. Speaking of said Warriors, they defeat Utah by 30. By 30, y'all. At final 104-74. And the Sacramento Kings score a victory over the Portland Trail Blazers. That final is 126-121. Now, to the NHL last night, the Islanders went to Boston and beat the Bruins. Sorry about that, Sean. 4-2 was the final. Nashville over the Devils 5-1. The Pittsburgh Penguins swallowed the New York Rangers 7-2. It was the Columbus Blue Jackets over the Los Angeles Kings in a shootout, that final 3-2. The Montreal Canadiens defeated the Anaheim Ducks 5-1. The Tampa Bay Lightning defeated the Detroit Red Wings 4-1. Panthers over the Buffalo Sabres 4-3. The Minnesota Wild shut out the Colorado Avalanche 2-0. Ottawa, a good young team, came into the United Center and beat the Blackhawks. Damn it! That final was 4-3 in a very, very well-played game. St. Louis Blues pick up a couple of points on the Blackhawks. They beat the Stars 3-2 in overtime. Sorry about that, J.J. Neely. And it was the Vancouver Canucks over the Winnipeg Jets 4-1, and the San Jose Sharks, the defending Western Conference champs, they defeat the Calgary Flames by a final of 4-1. Tonight on the ice, it's Washington inside the the Wells Fargo Center to take on the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Edmonton Oilers will take on the Arizona Coyotes in Glendale. A short schedule in the NHL tonight. However, in the NBA, they got somewhat of a full slate. Milwaukee travels to Cleveland to complete the back end of a home-and-home at Quicken Loans Arena. Minnesota travels to Atlanta. That time is 7:30 Eastern. Cleveland tips at 7 Eastern. Another 7:30 game. The Memphis Grizzlies travel to Detroit to take on the Pistons. At the top of the 8 o'clock hour, it's the Washington Wizards and the Chicago Bulls from the United Center. The Bulls trying to get another streak going. And the Oklahoma City Thunder, I got lots to say about them. They'll take on the New Orleans Pelicans at 8 p.m. Eastern. Kings at the Jazz 1 hour later. Also the Rockets at the Suns 1 hour later. And then 1 hour after that, the Dallas Mavericks will travel to play the Portland Trail Blazers. And the Blazers have so much to get together. How about a little high school hoops? Let's take a peek inside the high school hoops scoreboard. We'll start here in the Northwest Indiana region in boys basketball. It was Victory Christian over Hammond Academy 69-46. Maryville over Morton 78-61. Munster 11 better than Lake Central 65-54. It was Chesterton over the defending Greater South Shore champion Bishop Noel Warriors. That score 70-59. Lowell defeats the LaPorte Slicers 63-61. Wheeler over Highland 50-35. Rensselaer 10 better than Gavitt 64-54. On the girls basketball circuit in Northwest Indiana, it was Hobart over Counts 40-23. Argos get some revenge from last year. They beat Marquette Catholic 45-31, handing the Blazers their first loss of the year. South Central tops Westville in a Porter County Conference matchup 56-54. Maryville over Penn 46-32. Winnemac goes to the Hawks Nest in Hebron and defeats the Hawks 58-52 in a non-conference matchup. Elkhart Memorial over Portage. That final was 44-38. Rensselaer absolutely destroys Gavitt 75-14. Liberty Christian over Gary 21st Century. These are girls basketball scores 70-19. Michigan City picks up a big road win at Mishawaka. That final was 79-52. And that is your morning scoreboard. On today's show, going to talk a little NBA for you. I will tell you why the Golden State Warriors are going to win the world championship. Damn what everybody else says about Cleveland and LeBron James. And I'm going to kid around as I say that because I know the season's just getting started. And my buddy Joshua Lopez said it best. If you judge a team about what they do in December and not what they do in late April, May, or June, then you got something wrong with you. But I will tell you why I feel the Warriors are going to be the world champions and get the championship back that was stolen from them last spring. Yeah, I said it was stolen, and I'm not backing down from it either. That will come after the break. Also, you'll hear a classic Tuesdays with Ted episode. Yeah, I know it's Wednesday, but you'll hear a classic Tuesdays with Ted episode. And cyberbullying has been, kind of cranked back up again. So we're going to do a little something with that. And also, after the classic Tuesdays with Ted episode where we talk cyberbullying, or we may have another special episode from that. We're going to crank that up after the new year. You'll also hear me close, as always, with the spoken word. That's the slate. That's what we have on tap, and we got a break coming your way. When we come back, I'll talk a little Golden State Warriors. After this is Snowman in the Morning. Hey, everybody, Snowman here. You're looking to get a great car for a great price, but your financial situation is not all that good? You need some help? Well, you want to go to Tri-State Motors at 401 West Ridge Road in Gary, Indiana. My buddy Brett is there to hook you up with the best car for the best price on your budget. Give him a call at 219-980-2277. That's 219-980-2277. Tri-State Motors, 401 West Ridge Road in Gary, Indiana, helping to get you on your way.
Hello, this is Mike Prince, the host of The Mike Prince Show, which is featured on the Open Mic Broadcast Network and right here at the Arena Sports Network. We'll cover current events, education, economics, relationships, spirituality, sports, and much, much more. You can join us each and every Wednesday live right here from 8 to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's The Mike Prince Show right here at the Arena Sports Network and the Open Mic Broadcast Network.
Do you want to dominate your fantasy football league? Do you want to have a little fun and talk some sports? Then join the Asylum Fantasy Sports Show, 8 o'clock every Thursday, exclusively here on the Arena Sports Network.
Hey y'all, Snowman here. I want to tell you about a great place here in Hebron that supports the Hebron Hawks. It's called Susie's Diner at 407 South Main Street here in Hebron, Indiana. They got the best food around. If you're looking for a place to get a quick bite to eat or to hang around for a little while, check out Susie's Diner at 407 South Main Street in Hebron, Indiana. And my personal recommendation, the first of many to come, try the biscuits and gravy. Man, they are good. Susie's Diner, 407 South Main Street, Hebron, Indiana, or call them at 219-996-3463. Russ's Print Shop in Hebron, Indiana has been doing printing since 1979. You can take advantage of this website special of getting 500 full-color business cards on a quality business cardstock for just $49, an online special only. But you can use other means to get the name of your business out there through Russ's Print Shop and the Hebron Advertiser, located at 131 North Main Street in Hebron, Indiana. Give them a call today at 219-996-3142 or toll free at 877-996-3142. Russ's Print Shop, fine printing and design since 1979. Countryside Realty and their team of realtors are ready to handle your real estate transaction with honesty, professionalism, and over 17 years of industry knowledge. Don't go unrepresented in one of the largest investments of your life. Call their DeMont, Indiana office at 219-987-SELL. That's 219-987-7355. You can also find them online at 987sell.com or find them on Facebook. Serving all of Northwest Indiana, Countryside Realty, where professionalism matters. Dig it! Welcome back. We're just getting started here on Snowman in the Morning. Got a classic Tuesdays with Ted coming for you. Just gave you everything that's happened on our scoreboard presented by Butcher Box. Tomorrow, talk a lot of football as we get you ready for week number 16 in the NFL. And I'm going to enjoy getting you ready for that. Got some basketball talk for you here in just a moment. Tonight, late tonight, you'll hear a replay of the Roosevelt Lakers and the Indiana Northwest Redhawks in doubleheader basketball. That'll come to your way on the Red Hawk Sports Network. I got to apologize to the folks at Hebron for missing some games earlier in the year. Had a lot of stuff going on, but we're going to get it together. That's a promise. That's a promise, Hawk Nation. We're going to get it together despite the stuff that's being thrown out and thrown at me. And I got to talk about that. I'll do that toward the end of the show. Did y'all like that sax quartet? I did too. Tell you more about that as this week draws to a close. It's Wednesday, 19 after the hour. And I got news for y'all. The Golden State Warriors are going to win the World Championship again. Yeah, I know I said I wouldn't talk NBA much, but listen, they got blown out by San Antonio. Fine. They're the second best team in the Western Conference, period, okay? I wouldn't mind San Antonio winning the championship. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I would not mind the San Antonio Spurs winning the World Championship. If there's any other team that's deserving, it's San Antonio. But you know it's not. But to be perfectly honest, I don't see it happening that way. I'll tell you why. The Golden State Warriors, I think, will win it all, or something screwy will happen to them or San Antonio. Here's my take on the Golden State Warriors right now. Their bench is not deep as it was before. They're not as strong in the post as they were the last 2 years. And they still have a tendency to turn the ball over many, many times, okay? We've all seen it. But when you have Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant in your starting five, you know, you can't help but think they're going to do the thing, because Kevin Durant gives the Warriors an extra scorer. He's worked on his defense. Stephen Curry has worked on his defense. In fact, the Warriors as a whole have worked on their defense. They held Utah to 74 points last night. 74. Okay? They beat Portland by 45. They won last night by 30. And the last two opponents they've held under 100 points. Hell, they held Utah under 75, let alone 80, okay? I don't care what people think. I'm just going to look at this strictly at the numbers. You can toss LeBron James at me all you want. You can toss Kevin Love at me all you want. You can even make a case for Kyrie Irving, which I won't, but I'm kidding. But let's be real here, okay? You can say everything negative about Kevin Durant that you want. The man made a grown-ass decision, period. Okay? You can say if you can't beat him, join him. You can say, oh, he didn't want to stay in. Okay, look, Kevin Durant did what's best for him, all right? Leave him alone. Leave him alone. As it looks so far from what I've seen, he is the missing piece of the puzzle for the Golden State Warriors. Okay? Do I miss Andrew Bogut, Harrison Barnes, who else? A few others on that team? Certainly. But I think the Warriors have improved. Everybody is going to be in sync come playoff time. Now, I know this is so early in the season to tell. But as much as people want to throw the Clippers at me, who started off 10-1, as much as people want to throw the Cleveland Cavaliers at me, and they are the defending world champions, I give them respect. The team to beat is the Golden State Warriors, period. Who's got the best record in the NBA? That would be the Golden State Warriors. Who has the leading scorer in the NBA? That would be the Golden State Warriors. In their last 11 games, I didn't realize this stat until Bob Fitzgerald, the television voice, said it last night. In their 24 wins, 11 have come by plus 30 points. 11 of their 24 wins. Now, you can make a case, and it's certainly been proven, that it can be feast or famine for the Warriors. Either they blow people out or they get blown out, except for one game that I've seen so far, and that was a double overtime game against Houston, where Houston came to play. All right? Much respect to the Houston Rockets. But unless a monumental collapse happens, the road to the NBA Finals is going to go through Golden State. Let me say that again. The road to the NBA Finals in the Western Conference will go through Golden State. Now, that can totally change with the way San Antonio is playing right now. And San Antonio is balling out. They're balling out, man. You know, Mark Heffernan, my good buddy, told me Houston was ranked 3rd in the NBA power rankings. No. Sorry. Houston doesn't deserve to be 3rd. Maybe 5th or 6th. But you want to talk about the 3 best teams right now in the NBA? They are the Golden State Warriors, they are the San Antonio Spurs, and they are the Cleveland Cavaliers. Period. Now, I will repeat something that I have said several times before, and I'll continue to repeat it. There is a dark horse in the Eastern Conference that is not Milwaukee, that is not Toronto, that is not Boston. Sorry about that, Sean. And that is not Atlanta. The dark horse in the East that you need to watch if you really want to be, if you really want to be crazy about it, the dark horse in the East to watch is Jimmy Butler and the Chicago Bulls. They're sitting at a 14-13 record right now coming into tonight. But they already have beaten Cleveland. It's not that they made a big splash in their free agency. It's the fact that they picked up the right people and sent the wrong people They sent the right people packing. I'm going to say something that's going to piss off a lot of Bulls fans, but if you think about it, I'm speaking the truth. As long as Derrick Rose was in the Chicago Bulls uniform, he was going to stunt their growth and prevent them from winning a championship. Prevent them from winning a championship. Let me say that again. As long as Derrick Rose was continued to be in the Chicago Bulls uniform, he was going to prevent them and stunt them from winning a championship. It wasn't Derrick Rose's team at all. It was Joakim Noah's team. After Derrick Rose, and a friend of mine said this to me, after Derrick Rose got his MVP in 2011, he said something was going to happen to him and he was going to fall off. And he did. I mean, love you, Derrick Rose, but at the same time, you know, staying healthy is a paramount for someone that was supposed to be a leader. The leader of that team for the longest time was Joakim Noah. But not many people wanted to say that aloud. Not many people wanted to say it was Joakim Noah's team. Not many people wanted to speak the truth and say it was Joakim Noah's team. Now it's neither Joakim Noah nor Derrick Rose's team. This is Jimmy Butler's team. And wait until all the pieces come together. They're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. Okay? You know, I don't see Boston taking on Cleveland. I don't see Toronto, anybody. The team that I see in the Eastern Conference that can give Cleveland all sorts of hell is going to be the Chicago Bulls. Period. I'm saying this now in December. I could be totally wrong come April. I could be totally wrong. But I don't think I am. And I will say it again. The team in the East that is the biggest dark horse is going to be the Chicago Bulls. Period. Period. They're sitting at a low seed right now, and they've been inconsistent as all get out. But this is only the first quarter of the season. This is only the first quarter of the season. Tomorrow, I'm going to tell you why I don't like the NBA in its current format and why I don't watch as much as I did once upon a time. I am finally going to say it aloud, but I will do that tomorrow. After the break, a Classic Tuesdays with Ted episode coming your way. This, my friends, is Snowman in the Morning. And you know something? I'll be back. South Lake Body Auto Sales is a used car dealership located at 3970 East Lincoln Highway in Maryville, 1 block east of Sam's Club, where your job is your credit and everybody drives. We're open from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday. Get great deals on cars such as a 2004 Mitsubishi Outlander, a 2005 BMW X3, a 2010 Ford Fusion, a 2008 Chevy Malibu, a Buick LaCrosse, and much, much more. Visit 3970 East Lincoln Highway in Maryville or call 219-947-9901, or you can jump online and visit southlakebodyautosales.com. South Lake Body Auto Sales, where your job is your credit and everybody drives.
This is Arena Sports Net, bringing the spotlight back to the student athlete.
He pumps and throws one deep down the sideline, pitches open. He's got it inside the 35 to the 32-yard line.
Oh, yeah!
Drops the throw. Pressure coming in. He is sacked. And on the sack is Belton. John Melton. Woo-hoo! Ball on the right hash. Snap to Hall. A pump. He throws. Pinson's running free. He's got it. Touchdown! Oh, what a catch! What a catch! Gets the snap and looks to throw. Pumps and throws. Ordway's open. Leaping grab made inside the 40. Down to the 36-yard line. Out of a shotgun formation again with Elliott to the left of Anderson. He throws a fade for... Oh, what a catch! What a catch! One-handed catch by Dylan Tate! The Hawaiian attack has it! Touchdown!
Oh, yeah!
Now finds Logan James. Ball free! Ball still free! Still free! Peels has it! Peels shoots! Scores! And the Blazers have tied it! Mitchell holds and looks. Starts to dribble with the left hand. Gives it back to Zeke. Fazekas fakes. Finds Peels. A three! Yes! Tie game! Tie game! Woohoo! He'll unload a three. He hits it! He hits it! Malcolm Reed hits a three! Awesome.
Oh, yeah!
The pitch. A swing and a drive into deep right field. This may do it. That ball is going, gone. Goodbye! Woohoo! And the pitch to McKinney. A swing and a drive into deep left field. Goodbye. That ball is gone!
Are you kidding me?
And the pitch. A swing and a drive into deep right field. Going, gone. Goodbye. Aaron Hebron. A pitch to Patrick. A swung on and hit into deep right field. That ball is going, gone. Goodbye.
Oh, yeah!
Expand your brand during the 2016-2017 play-by-play story on Arena Sportsnet.
Now what's that? I say, now what's that boy up to? Better check on it, yeah.
You're listening to Snowman in the Morning.
Ask a silly question, get a silly answer.
Man, oh man, rolling right along on this Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. This portion is presented to you by Chicagoland Popcorn, open Monday through Saturday 10 to 8 and Sunday from 10 to 6. Give them a visit at 5470 East Lincoln Highway in Maryville, Indiana, or give them a call at 219-940-1140. You can also visit them at chicagolandpopcorn.com. Over 250 flavors. And this is August, and Snowman's flavor of the month from Chicagoland Popcorn. Y'all know I love pineapple, so that's my choice for the month. Pineapple popcorn, Snowman's flavor of the month. Visit chicagolandpopcorn.com and get your bushel of popcorn today. There is a subject I've wanted to talk about for a while. You heard me talk about it when I did my Purge episode, but I'm sick of cyberbullying, period. I am sick of it, and when the man I have on the hotline did his late night parents episode dedicated to this, I made contact and I said, I got to have you on to talk about this. Ted Hicks, the host of Late Night Parents, who rules the late nights here on Arena Sports Net, is now on the hotline. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man, and I'm glad you hopped on with me for this subject because it's a negative trend that's going up, and that's cyberbullying. I've been a victim of it. I'm still a victim of it in so many ways, but so many people don't want to talk about it. I'll start there. Why do you think so many people don't want to come out about it?
It's tough. It's a tough topic because, you think about, what is it? How to stop it. You think about, cyberbullying all along. Think about some facts behind it, the laws. But, just look at cyberbullying itself. It's rumors. It's gossip. It's lies. It's name calling. It's harassment. It's mean names. It's threats. I mean, it's all the above. And a lot of people think about bullying and it's primarily with children and all the above, but no, that's not the case. Bullying can happen anywhere. So I mean, you're looking at bullying versus cyberbullying, and like I said, I've done talks out here on Long Island with some of the youth to say, okay, you kind of ask that question: Have you ever bullied someone online? Because most kids will know what bullying is. But then you'll say, have you ever cyberbullied? And they have no idea. And when you say, sharing pictures, sharing or posting videos, pictures on social media of a person in a cruel way or with a cruel intention that might, involve violence, or sharing pictures or photos on social media or via text that are sexual in nature and display violent behavior, sexual violent behavior. I mean, it's just overall making threats and physical harm towards people. It's attacking a person online. And we see that every day with all these, everyone who has Twitter fingers nowadays and people online, you name the social media tool that people use. I mean, Facebook alone, close to 1.3 billion people. Twitter itself, maybe 350 million people. And guess what? Everyone's not saying something nice. Most of the time, someone's saying something that's kind of hurtful. And people themselves, maybe they're not quick enough, or they don't understand, or they're ashamed that they've been cyberbullied. You got to think about it. Think about any time you're doing something positive, Brian, and you get that negative comment. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. Oh, your skin is too dark. Oh, I mean, we can go there. We can go there.
Let's go there.
Because that's what we're dealing with nowadays. You're dealing with hurtful, hateful people that are out there making these type of comments. And you got to just know, if you are being bullied, or better yet, if a loved one or a child or son, a daughter, or a niece or nephew is being cyberbullied, you need to know what to do. You need to know some of the characteristics behind it, how to identify it. And the one thing that we don't like to talk about is, what if your child, what if your nephew or your favorite niece is actually doing the cyberbullying? So it's really, really important to understand. After you understand what is cyberbullying, once you understand that like 92% of teens reported going online at least once a day, and 24% stating that they are online constantly. You know, that amount of potential exposure to cyberbullying is high. What kid that's 15 years old, or maybe younger, in most cases younger, doesn't have a cell phone in their hands? Doesn't have, and along with that, you know, I said to the youth before, and to their parents, the minute you give them that mobile phone, you just gave them access, full, unblown access to the internet and all the various applications that are out there. So it's like you got to be smart with this type of stuff. You got to be smart to know some of the signs if if your child is doing something. If your child is doing something, if they are being bullied, all of the above.
I mentioned on Monday's show about a comment I got from a person that has been harassing and cyberbullying me for years. I've had so many of my friends ask me, why don't you take him to court? Why don't you take him to jail? My reasoning is simple. My dad's spirit has been inside of me since this whole ordeal started. And my dad kept telling me, take care of home first, then go after him. It would be of no use to me if I'm not stabilized at home first. Dad taught me that. My grandpa taught me that. But believe me, I've been stacking up the evidence. And I got a lot of evidence against this guy. So when the police do come and cuff him and my lawyer does slap him with a lawsuit, I will be prepared. But the text that he sent to me last week, for lack of a better term, royally pissed me off. Anyone who knows me knows one of the biggest reasons I hustle as hard as I do is the memory of my daughter. This sumbitch had the nerve to text me and say, and I quote as I'm reading this off of my screen, Donna is alive. She just doesn't want you coming around asking her for money, and the family doesn't want you to see her. Close quote. Even though I'm looking at my daughter's obituary and it's hanging here in my office. He sent that to me, and what he fails to realize is that just upped the ante on everything. I saved all of his messages that he sends to me. He's got the unmitigated gall, and this goes back to a point that you made earlier about people having the nerve to do it. And I heard part of that on your show. People just have the unmitigated gall to say something not knowing what the reaction or the result of that would be.
True. So true. I got to tell you, Brian, the fact you're ahead of the game, because I was going to say, you got to keep a record of the cyberbullying in case you decide to report it to the authorities. Mm-hmm. Because with the proof of cyberbullying directly on your phone or your computer, it's day and night. It's so easy to prove that you're being threatened and attacked. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but you got to report some of this offensive posts to specific, social media company or to the phone providers, the telecom providers. There's ways of blocking people. Yes, we're in a day and age of Google Voice, and I could drum up 5 ghost phone numbers in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
But you got to stay ahead. You got to stay ahead of this because, I mean, who wants to deal with something like that? And just as you said before, they're not saying, they're saying it's beyond hurtful. It's beyond hurtful because you're talking about someone, a child that's no longer here, a loved one, and, it's to a point where people, you speak with any adult, and the first thing they'll say is burying their child is the worst thing they could have ever gone through in life.
Man, is that the truth?
Just having to deal with something like that. So it's like you got to report this offensive behavior. Think about it. Social media sites like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter have made it easy to report posts that are inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Getting people suspended from this, from using these types of tools. And like I said, and if they're making threats, you report them to the authorities.
Yep.
Because that digital imprint says it all.
Here is something no one will touch except us. I talked about this before when I did my Purge episode in June. What if it happens to a man? I'm going there. I'm going there because I'm a victim of it. I've been harassed and bullied, not to mention stabbed in the back by people I thought I trusted, and then they used text messaging and whatever messaging to try to drive their point home. I mentioned, and I'll continue to mention, that last year I was in a very abusive relationship, verbally, emotionally, and on a couple of occasions it turned physical. And all of my friends asked me, why didn't you report this to the cops? Come on now.
Yeah, it's tough. Brian, it's tough. When you turn the tables around, I have a friend who lives down south who was in it sounds similar, equally abusive relationship where his wife was, you get to it. She's throwing pots, she's throwing pans at him. You name it, verbally abusive to him. And I had a conversation. Unfortunately, I had to have a conversation with her because she was, blaming him for this, that. And she was telling me, she said, Ted, I'm in she was trying to sell to me. She was trying to sell to me that she was in the abusive relationship.
Oh, my goodness.
And she was trying to sell to me. And I said to her, if it's so abusive, why are you still there?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you still there when your family is 5 minutes away?
This is what a lot of people didn't understand with my situation. When people try to tell you how they would react to your situation, there is a problem. Because they're not in it. They're not going through it. They're not walking in your shoes. And what's worse, they're refusing to help you.
Right.
Men men in abusive relationships, men that have been victims of cyberbullying. And trust me, people, I did a lot of research on this subject, not just from personal experience, but I know guys that have gone through it. Men are more victims of cyberbullying more now than ever. No one wants to talk about it. And in some ways, because I've been there, some men don't want to talk about it for two reasons. And I know both of these reasons very well because I went through it a year ago.
Okay.
The first one, fear of being laughed at and made fun of by people that you trust. Secondly, fear of nobody in authority believing your story. Period.
True. That's true. you're dead on because it's a really tough situation. It's really tough because when you do, I think I go back to my buddy who he called the cops. He called law enforcement to get involved, and the first response he received was, they kind of gave him the side eye.
Yeah.
Because he's calling on someone that's, 5'4" and 130 pounds.
Exactly.
And they're looking at him and like, this is totally in reverse. Where they're like telling him, man up.
Yep. That's what I got told by my family.
And I can relate to this, Brian, because I've heard this. And like I said, my one of my good friends, he's told me about this for the last year of his life, where it was just an abusive, unproductive, unhealthy, stressful, disruptive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, he finally left. He finally left, and guess what his prize is for leaving? Child support. I said,
wow.
I said to him, democracy in action. He's like, Ted, I am now paying $2,200 a month in child support. And I said, because you were in an abusive relationship. He's like, yes.
That is just awful. It's awful that a man leaves an abusive relationship where he is the one being victimized.
Right.
Let me say that again, ladies and gentlemen. A man leaves a relationship where he is the one being victimized, and he ends up being the one that pays for it dearly, either financially, emotionally, or in some cases, as I found out, with his life.
Right. So that's the situation. Well, that's just one example where now the situation has spiraled.
Mm-hmm.
The situation, where he was being bullied, because I know initially we started talking about cyberbullying.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about bullying and or being in an unhealthy relationship where he has to fight to see his kids now.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking about this, folks. Keep this in mind. We're talking about this from a man's standpoint, from being cyberbullied to being bullied to being abused. And there are so many people that say, oh, men can't be abused. Oh, yeah? You're talking to one that has been. People don't realize, and I will tell my story again. People don't realize how bad of a relationship I was in last year. And mind you, folks, coming off a relationship that was prematurely ended by a family that was so stupid and so idiotic and didn't want to see people together raising their child. Okay?
That's deep.
This was Donna's mom. This was Donna's mother, Liz. I've spoken about her so many times. I've told this story so many times, but you know what? I know there are other men out there. If y'all are within earshot of this, give me a tweet at arenasportsnet.com and let me know your story. I'll tell it on the air this month. But there are so many people like me and like your buddy that have been through a horrible relationship and in some cases has had it prematurely ended. Very prematurely ended because the people involved are so stupid. Will I ever see Liz again? No. But at the same time, I'm telling this story because I know there are men that have gone through it. And let us be one of the first two to fight for the men that have been through this, because it's wrong.
It is wrong. It is wrong. Hey, there's two pieces that I do want to talk about with cyberbullying if your child is a cyberbully. You know, and that's where, because you got to remember, as an adult, as a parent, that flag is going to go up. Those antennas go up.
Oh yeah.
Because your child may be a cyberbully because they were at one time bullied, either in person or over the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to, as a parent, you got to talk to them about what they're doing and how they're hurting other people, and make sure that they understand the severity of the action. You got to talk to them about why they are doing what they are doing, and listen to them. Don't react out of anger.
No.
So many of us parents react out of anger. We grab that belt.
Mm-hmm.
Or, for those that are, I'll put it out there, when I was growing up, when you heard about the story about Adrian Peterson about a year ago, 2 years ago, and he was talking about the switch.
Yep.
I used to have to deal with the switch. So that was normal.
Yeah.
Back then. It's like nowadays, you put your hands on your child and CPS is
in your face.
But you gotta monitor your children's online and phone behavior and make sure that they are not continuing this type of behavior.
Absolutely.
If the problem persists and it does not seem like an isolated incident, you might have to involve school authorities in order to show your child that this is a major problem.
Mm-hmm.
You may want to seek professional counseling to help the child overcome their problem. It's just so key, and you just got to remember, in preventing cyberbullying from happening, what do? This is going to sound outdated. You got to keep that family computer in a public area, but who doesn't have tablets or mobile phones or Chromebooks? So that's kind of outdated, but you got to encourage offline time with your family.
Mm-hmm.
Try to have everyone disconnect for an extended period of time every evening. This can include having family dinner or practicing some shared hobbies together.
Oh, yeah.
You got to keep that open conversation about bullying and cyberbullying going. Discuss why it's wrong and what your child should do if they see it. You got to make sure that child knows how to maintain their digital reputation and knows how to share their personal information that they wouldn't want made public with anyone. The minutes, and I hate to go there.
Go there.
But what did we see on Sunday? What we saw on Sunday was Draymond Green. And Draymond Green on Snapchat thought he was sending a private message of a private part, his junk, as some people might refer to it. And he sent it out. It was a public Snapchat message. And after he noticed it, he tried to hit delete, but guess what? Everyone was screen capturing it.
Yep.
You got to think about what you're doing. Think about what you're sharing out there. So, it's great to talk about everything and share every part of your life on Facebook. But then you have to be smart about it.
Mm-hmm.
You really do. You really need to be smart about this stuff. It's kind of like thinking about, Ryan, hey, I'm going to San Juan. My family and I are going to San Juan, and we won't be back for 2 weeks. And you tell the world, and guess what? Everyone knows where you live.
Yep.
And then you come back, and your house is robbed or vandalized. Someone ate, you could see someone ate your turkey sandwich.
Yeah.
Or, you sit here and you look at this, and you're just like, oh, my goodness, you got to just be careful.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we tell the youth, we tell the adults, because it's important. It's important because nowadays parents have to be tech savvy. They've got to be tech savvy to watch after their kids.
Exactly.
And they should be tech savvy to watch after themselves, because look at it. Look at how many people that stars, celebrities that we hold so high up, and they're being trolled all the time on social media. You got to think about it. That's a form of cyberbullying.
Yeah, it is.
So we got to be smart. Brian, you got to keep those examples of you being cyberbullied, And when you're ready to report it to the authorities
Mm-hmm.
and or to the providers, you know, you got to do it. You got to do it. Because only after so long, after so many times, a person can only take so much.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you got to hold it together, brother. And you know, only you know how much you can take. You know how much you can deal with. So I'm just going to leave it there. But that's cyberbullying in a nutshell. And, you know, and the game just continues to change all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's with this now, what is the next thing going to be? You know, I mean,
oh, yeah.
We've seen all different types of shaming happening. But it's just under a different term. People are not saying cyberbullying, but they're saying shaming.
You know what?
You know,
no one except us wants to say it's cyberbullying. They don't want to use the word shaming and try to take some of the hurt out of the context. You know something?
Yes.
My favorite comedian is George Carlin. And George Carlin did a piece about when shell shock slowly, what is the word I'm looking for? It slowly dropped into being post-traumatic stress disorder. I will never forget that piece when he talked about when it was shell shock and people who went through shell shock, going through wars, going through battle. And I'll never forget that he said this, and I quote, "I'll bet you if they had still been calling it shell shock, some of those Vietnam veterans might have gotten the attention they needed at the time." Close quote.
Preach on it. You got to preach on it. You said it. Not enough people are talking about it. People are like you said, we want to make it something lighter. We want to make it something lesser.
They want to make it soft.
That is PC.
That they want to make. We're in too much of a PC world to say what things truly are. Call it what it is. It's cyberbullying. It's bullying in the 21st century, period.
Yep.
It's bullying in the 21st century. People don't want to call it such. They want to call it shaming. They want to call it anything except what it is, which is bullying. It happens to kids. It happens more to adults, and anybody who has been a victim of it is so afraid to talk about it because there are very few people that are bold enough to speak on it, especially with those that have been through it. Period.
Right. You're right. I mean, it's a serious topic.
Yeah, it is.
It's a serious topic, and that we try on Late Night Parents. We try to talk about it, whether it's through a podcast or whether it's through print, online media, any which way through a tweet, a social media post, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
Or when we talk about it on the Saturday AM radio show,
yeah,
we talk about it because it's something that's serious and it's something that's not going away. It's so easy for me to sit here and do a weekly show and talk about all the bubblegum stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's the teacher of the week. Here's the new tech, device that everyone is clamoring for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's the latest stat
mm-hmm.
With your favorite sports team. But it's those topics that come down that really, really, really matter.
This is one of
because
them.
It affects you, it affects your family. It just affects everything about you. You think about it. Think about your demeanor when you go online and, you're yucking it up with people and we're talking about LeBron James and Kevin Durant versus when you go online and you see that hurtful stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Two different appearances, two different situations. What's going to stick with you? The story about Draymond Green, or someone just badgering you online and saying hurtful and mean things?
And what hurts a lot of people is not having that outlet. I said it a couple of times on this show, and people have agreed. What happens when social media ain't so social?
I think we're in that day and age now. I think we broached that topic. I think
we have.
I think we're there. Ding, ding, ding.
Big time ding. And what's so sad, and I'll say it again, is when that mode of communication, when social media is not so social. That's the best way I can put it. That is the absolute best way that I can put it. And again, we touched on this earlier in this conversation, and it is a wonderful conversation. We touched on this earlier in the conversation, and what a lot of people need to realize, does it happen to men? You better doggone believe it.
So true.
But because men, and let me use the other side of this coin. Because society has conditioned men to be internal, we get in more trouble when we have taken all that we can take and it becomes external.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that again. We as men, and I'm going to go one step further. Can I go one step further? Let me try this. We as black men are so conditioned to be internal with our emotions, because that's what our dad taught us, and I love my dad dearly. But if there's one thing my dad did teach me before he passed on, never hold on to those emotions. If you gotta let them out, let them out. A lot of men have been so conditioned, especially lately, to be so internal. How did you put it earlier? If you go to the police, what are they going to tell you? They're going to laugh in your face and tell you to man up. They're going to laugh in your face and tell you to man up, and you're going, how the hell can I man up when I'm getting scratches all over me? Because if I man up and respond the way that you and the person abusing me want to respond, you two get the final laugh and the final say, because I'm the one that winds up in handcuffs because I responded. I didn't instigate. I didn't start it, but I was forced to respond. And when a man is forced to respond, yeah, I'm going there. Let me say that again. When a man is forced to respond, he should not be responsible for his actions because they were forced out of him. Period.
Brian, that's a tough topic right there. That's a tough statement because there's a double standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is.
There's a double standard because what do we see? Let's take two situations. Two situations that involved people inside of elevators that had video cameras in them.
Last name Rice.
We had the Ray Rice situation,
mm-hmm.
and then you had the Jay-Z and Beyonce sister situation.
Yep.
Those are two situations, two conversations we don't know about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
But what we saw visually, we saw one where the male was the aggressor,
mm-hmm.
and we saw the second hand. We saw the male kind of hold his composure.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this environment where we're forced. I mean, and I'm sorry to say, all hell could be breaking loose. We have to hold our composure.
Yes.
We have to. Because if not, then that's a game changer. Because then you get labeled.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta be careful with what we do and with our emotions and why we have to express our emotions as men.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, and you lash out, it takes one time. And then the next thing you know, clink, clink, and you're sitting there, and your mugshot is everywhere, and you go to the Bureau of Prisons website, and
you're there.
There's your story.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to, as men, as black men, as
men,
with what we have to deal with every day. As a man, yes. As a black man, yes. Too bad it can't be. We can just say as a man.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two different situations that we have to do. That we have to uphold. We have to be at the top of our game.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be ahead of the situation, every situation. As a man, as a black man, you got to be able to say, and this is going a little bit off topic, but
go for it.
You're hanging out and you're having a social drink. You're going to have that one social drink, and then that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you get pulled over, and the alcohol in your blood level is measured, and it's above that 0.08. You know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So we just, as men, I'll just say this much, as men, because the discussion on race nowadays, it's great to have this discussion.
Yeah,
it's great because now people can see. But as a man, you've got to be able to, it sounds cliche. You got to turn the other cheek if you're in that abusive relationship, or you've got to be ahead of the game to say, you know what, this is toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to pull myself out of it.
Yeah, you got to get the hell out.
You got to get out.
You got to
get out, and that's it's like I said, it's a double standard.
It is a double standard. But why do you think it's such a double standard though? Especially, let me go two different places with this, and then we'll close out.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it's a double standard with men, and why do you think it's a triple standard with black men? Let's try that.
Because you hear comments, okay, it's a double standard for men because a man shouldn't hit on a woman, unless you're watching the WWE, and it's entertainment. Okay? The other thing that you were talking about, the triple standard, is because some folks, it's been written, it's the comments, the things that we see on video nowadays is something, because justifiably they're scared. Because you're violent.
Mm-hmm.
You're known to be violent.
Mm-hmm.
You're known to be a beast or an animal or anything else like that. And it's sad where you see some of these perspectives of people. And that's the reason why that different standards exist out there, because of some of these people in their existing positions.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough situation.
Yeah, it is.
It's tough. It's tough because you know what, Brian, I'll be the first one to tell you. So I've been in information technology and the information technology field for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
At 45, I'm almost at the point where I'm very close to half of my life I've been in IT. And IT is a great, great, great field. And I would tell anyone to get into that field. Why? I'm not going to say racism doesn't exist, because it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a field where if you have the knowledge and the know-how to deal with your industry, to deal with the technology field, that it bleeds across every industry. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
What you know is what you know. All right? But also along with that, I've had the ability to work with people, outside of my race. I've had the ability to work with people, and maybe if I was in a different industry, I might not have had this exposure to working with different people and getting to speak with them and work with them and know them on a certain level. And he's vice presidents and partners and all the above to get their understanding of, wow, Ted, you're great, you're different, and you hear stuff like that, and your antennas go up when you hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You're great, you're this, you're that, but there's an undertone that exists. Why am I great?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I different? What were you expecting? So the race piece is always a part of it. The fact of the matter is you do have to work 2 and 3 and 10 times as hard. And it's just expected out of us. It's one of those like unwritten rules where you have to work hard.
Yeah.
You have to. And it's this, I don't want anyone that hears this conversation to think otherwise, that it's racially charged. No, it's not racially charged. But I can tell you, if you had any idea what I had to do to get to where I am today.
Mm-hmm.
You got to sit there and you go through this stuff. And you're fighting, and you're charging along little by little, and you're doing things organically to the point where you kind of just take a step back from time to time. You have that out of body, experience, and say, okay, I'm dealing with this person, that person, because it's based on your good work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to rein it back in because, you got people. People don't take the time to know people nowadays. It's just, hey, I'm going to interact with this person for a split second and then I'm out. And then I'm just going to make, this is what I think of this person.
Mm-hmm.
You can even take the 2 minutes of interacting with the person to even know what they are, who they are, whether or not they can get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really tough time out here. I just want people, the black men, to be smart. I want them to take the time out because guess what? It's election season.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
And I just want to pivot here for a second, because the pivot is when you go, in 100 days, you're going to have an opportunity of a lifetime to speak. Okay? Right now, you say, oh, our voices aren't heard. We need Black Lives Matter, or we need this group, or we need this empowerment group. Yes, that might be true. But you get to, your voice is heard in less than 100 days. When you walk into that booth and you cast that ballot,
mm-hmm.
there's nothing. And I'm going to tell you, Brian, if you don't vote, then shut up. That's what I would like to express to the listeners. If you do not vote, then you need to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And as a black man, the power that you have is not allowing someone, to walk up into your church every 4 years to say, hey, vote for me.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at these candidates, looking at whether it's a local race or, the presidential race, and to say, look at my values, look at their values, what makes sense?
Yeah.
I just wanted to pivot back because as a black man, that's what I'm teaching my kids. Look at your values, and you think we didn't sit down and watch the RNC and the DNC? Because I wanted my kids to see it. I wanted my kids to see it so I can talk with them about it. And guess what? We put down the laptops and the iPads and the mobile phones.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's really about. It really comes back to I'm going to bring it back to with cyberbullying and with many of the topics we talked about. You've got to sit down and talk with your kids. You've got to have this family time. You've got to be able to explain certain things to them. We're in an age right now where digital parenting is happening.
Oh yeah.
Before you would sit your kid just in front of the TV. Now you're sitting them in front of the Xbox, and they're on YouTube, and it's not like they're on YouTube for education.
Right.
You know, they're watching all this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you aren't tech savvy, you have no idea what they're watching. So
and soaking in, and the information they're soaking in,
and it's making an impression on them,
big time.
And then when a certain situation happens, you know, or whatever happens in the future, you're just like, well, I did my best. Did you really? Did you really try?
Here's a question. Did you really try to do your best?
So it's so important nowadays to have that open communication, whether it's with the kids, with your loved ones. If someone is hurting, someone needs to confide in someone. Okay, everyone needs to confide in someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just put it there that this was more of an engaging conversation than I expected on a Tuesday morning. Want to definitely thank you for allowing me to come into. I'll put it this way: thank you for allowing me to come onto your show, into your pulpit, to talk about, some of the stuff that we talk about on Late Night Parents, because, like I said, we talk sports, we talk technology, we talk education, we talk parenting.
Yeah.
We
gotta talk parenting.
About products, and guess what? I think all the items, the categories that we talk about, we discussed on your show this morning. So
let's make this a week
for you. Let's make this platform.
Let's make this a weekly habit then. Let's bring part of it to every Tuesday morning.
You got it. And whenever you need me to talk about a specific topic, and if I can provide subject matter on it, and if I can't, I'll get you the person that can provide subject matter on it.
That works.
It's to a point where if we can enlighten some of the listeners out there in the ASN world, then it's great. I mean, and I'm just happy. There's a lot of Late Night Parents airs on a lot of stations, but I'm happy to air on yours. I'm happy and I'm pleased to be a part of this network.
Monday through Friday, 12 midnight Eastern, Late Night Parents with this man, Ted Hicks, joining me here on the hotline on this Tuesday morning. A very wonderful conversation. If you want to hear a replay of this, go to arenasportsnet.com/SITM and Tuesdays with Ted. We're just going to make that happen. Thanks a lot, my friend. Really appreciate it.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Let me tell you about American Grappler Wrestling and MMA Outfitters. American Grappler makes shirts that honor the American wrestling and combat sports tradition unlike any other brand on the market today. And I'm going to tell you a little personal story. American Grappler just did a tribute shirt to my coach, my mentor, one of my best friends, the legendary Billy Wicks, who just passed on. And all of the profits of this shirt are going to Billy Wicks' family. That's what kind of a brand this is. They are not just an advertiser on the King Sport. They are not just an advertiser on the Arena Sports Network. They have become family. And let me tell you something else about American Grappler. Their shirts are of the finest quality. I've been training in these shirts and wearing them proudly for years. Support American wrestling heritage. Go to AmericanGrappler.us today. You'll be happy you did.
Well, we're just about ready to close up shop here on Snowman in the Morning for this Wednesday, so I guess you can say this is an express edition. Ted Hicks will be rejoining me after the new year. You know, he's spending time with his family, and I encourage y'all to spend time with your family too. You know what else? You know what else I encourage? We just recorded, Matthew Granahan and I just recorded a special King's Court episode that will air Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day, all running at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. You know, we had a lot to talk about in that episode. And as we draw closer to Christmas, and I'm going to keep saying this, you know, enjoy what you have and enjoy what God has given you, because it's all about celebrating Him. It's all about celebrating the good stuff in life. You know, a lot of folks make it about, you know, what gifts are you giving and things like that. And I haven't had the best Christmases in the past 4 years. I haven't. But when I think about everything that's happened to me and happened to people around the area and around the country that have been through a lot, I really can't complain that much. I want to apologize to the fans of the show for me being in my feelings so much lately, but there was so much that I had to get out, and I'm still getting out. But you know, Matt said something during that show, during our recording, that made perfect sense. And what he said was this: if you know someone that's having a rotten Christmas or a rotten holiday season, don't text them to find out how they're doing. Don't call them to find out how they're doing. Go get them. Take them out for some drinks or for some dinner or something. Let them know in person that you care about them. That's a piece of advice I'm going to start taking more and more as we leap into the new year. And it shouldn't apply just to the holiday season. It should apply every day of your life. I'm going to start using that more. And I also want to leave y'all with this. Take some time to find out A, who you are, and B, what you really love and love to do. When you find you again, that smile on your face will not come off. I had some people come in my life recently that took away who I was. And then I woke up one day and I said, no more. And that day was Monday. I finally said no more, thinking about it, dealing with it, getting angry about it. I've expended all the emotion that I could about the last 4.5 years. And forgive the way I'm going to phrase this, but it's time to let that shit go. And time for old Snowman to be old Snowman again. Taking care of business when it's time to take care of business. And being myself and making people smile in the process. I hope you all got that. Find out who you are. Shaquille O'Neal said it in his Hall of Fame speech. And he referenced Jim Valvano. And I love the way that he referenced Jim Valvano when he said this. And I quote the great North Carolina State coach Jim Valvano. The greatest gift you can never give someone is your belief in them. Close quote. Remember that, folks. The greatest gift that you can ever give anyone is your belief in them. So let's start believing in each other again. Maybe that way dreams can and will come true one more time. Until tomorrow, have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. Check out our website, Snowman in the Morning. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, and YouTube, all with the same ID, at SIT Morning, and also Instagram. And one more time I say to you, if your dreams don't scare you, then they are not big enough. God bless everybody. I will talk to y'all tomorrow. And Snowman is out.